You can build real emergency savings without cutting a single essential dollar because the money is already there, hiding in the timing and the fees you're quietly paying. If you feel too broke to save, you're not broke. You're just paying a chaos tax. You've felt it. The rent hit 2 days before payday. Groceries cost 20% more than last year. Your car battery died on a Tuesday and you froze because there was $38 in your account until Friday. And then it snowballed. An overdraft fee, a late fee, a credit card interest charge at 22%. That's not a lack of discipline. That's a system problem. This is why you try to budget and still get blindsided, because the budget tells you what, but your calendar decides if it works. When money arrives on the wrong day, you pay a penalty for being normal. The penalty is invisible. It looks like life happens, but it's a leak. And that leak is the fastest way to fund emergency savings without touching rent, medication, childcare, or groceries. The reason why is simpler than you think, and more important. Here's the hidden mechanism that's been draining you. Cash flow mismatch. Bills don't care about your pay schedule. When a bill hits while your account is low, you pay overdraft, you juggle, you use a card, you promise future, you will fix it. Future you never gets a raise from promises. Future you gets interest charges and more volatility. But here's the twist. When you fix timing, you lower costs automatically, and those savings can be captured into an emergency fund without cutting essentials by a single dollar. So we build a firewall. Not a spreadsheet, a calendar. Step 1 is to separate roles. One checking account for essentials, rent, utilities, transportation, insurance, groceries, medication. Another account for everyday spending, coffee, dining, random Target runs, the stuff that drifts. Then one high-yield savings account labeled emergency. The names matter because your brain obeys labels. Your employer can usually split direct deposit. If not, set an automatic transfer the minute your paycheck lands. Money moves before you do. Essentials get protected first, everyday spending gets its allowance, and a small slice, yes, even $10, goes to the emergency account the same day. Why does this matter? Because what moves automatically becomes reality, and what waits for willpower becomes wishful thinking. But there's a catch. If your essentials total is always tight, you're thinking, I can't spare $10. Stick with me. We're going to mine money from the chaos tax you've been paying. First, ask your bank to turn off overdraft protection. It's not protection if it costs $35. Most banks let you decline it. One flipped setting can save you hundreds this year. Now call the bank and ask for the last fee to be reversed. You're not begging. You're a customer with leverage. You say, I'm setting up direct deposit and auto pay. Can you help me start clean? You'll be shocked how often one sentence returns $35 to $100. That's your first emergency deposit. And you didn't cut a single essential. And this is where things get interesting. Move due dates. Almost every biller lets you shift the day within the month. Pick a consistent rhythm. Rent and utilities right after payday 1, insurance and phone after payday 2. You're stacking bills behind deposits, not in front of them. You feel like nothing changed, but the late fees vanish, overdrafts vanish, and those costs become savings. Now set a sweep rule. On payday, after the essentials transfer, sweep whatever is left from the essentials account to the emergency account. Why would there be anything left? Because as you align timing, you stop incurring penalty costs, and that leftover becomes visible. If it's $10, great. If it's $50, better. The amount doesn't matter yet. The habit does. Remember that Tuesday car battery? In the old system, that cost $120, plus another $35 in overdraft and $20 in lost gas money waiting for Friday. In the new system, the battery is still $120. No fee, no scramble. The difference is where your emergency fund comes from. The fees you no longer pay, the interest you no longer trigger, The chaos, you cancel. You're not cutting groceries, you're cutting penalties. But wait, it gets stranger. You can lower the price of essentials without buying less. Internet providers quietly drop $10 to $15 for autopay or for threatening to switch. Insurance companies give new customer rates to anyone who asks every 12 months. Pharmacy prices swing wildly depending on discount codes. Generic medication through a pharmacy savings card can be half the sticker price, and your dosage stays the same. None of those reduce what you consume. They reduce what you overpay. Take every dollar from those wins and automate it straight into emergency. Lock it in. If your internet bill drops $12, set a $12 recurring transfer that same day. Your life didn't get cheaper by accident. You captured it. Here's what nobody tells you. An emergency fund isn't built with willpower. It's built with one-time decisions that pay you every month. The decision to split deposits. The decision to move due dates. The decision to decline overdrafts. The decision to negotiate every essential once a year. These are levers. Pull them once, and they keep pulling for you. Now, timing creates breathing room. But the first milestone creates momentum. Your zero-shame floor is $200. Why 200? Because most mini disasters live there. A copay, a tow, a surprise school fee. When you have 200, you stop borrowing from Tuesday to pay Friday. Then $1,000. Not because 1,000 is magic, but because it stops 90% of spirals before they start. Then 1 month of essentials. Not 1 month of your whole lifestyle. 1 month of rent, utilities, transportation, medication, groceries, different number, smaller target, faster win. But here's the part that changed everything for me. You fund these milestones with money you never miss. Windfalls only. Tax refund? Split it. Half to emergencies, half to joy. Work reimbursement? Straight to the emergency account the minute it arrives. Credit card rewards? Redeem as a statement credit? Then transfer the exact cash you would have paid into emergency. Bank sign-up bonuses exist if you open a new savings with a $200 bonus and no fees. That's your zero-shame floor in one move. You didn't cut a single essential, you redirected the wind. You might be thinking, my income is irregular. I drive, I freelance, I do shifts that change. Perfect. Irregular income is a timing game. Use a simple rule. Last week funds this week. Whatever cleared last week goes into essentials and every day for this week's spending. Anything above an average weekly number sits in emergency as a buffer. When a low week hits, you pay yourself from that buffer. You just turned volatility into a savings machine. Few people do this, not because it's hard, but because no one taught them the calendar is the budget. And this is where the stakes snap into focus. Credit card interest was around 16% a few years ago. Now many people see 20 or more. Every unplanned expense that hits a card is far more expensive than the sticker price. Building a small emergency fund before you attack every debt feels backward, but it saves you more. Most people think I should pay off debt first, but actually a tiny cushion prevents new debt, lowers interest paid, and makes your plan stick. It's like putting on your own oxygen mask before helping someone else. You're not ignoring the debt. You're preventing it from growing fangs. Let's go concrete. You take home $3,000 every month across 2 paychecks. You route $1,500 into essentials, $1,350 into everyday, $150 into emergency. You move due dates so rent, power, and water come after the first check, phone, internet, insurance after the second. You call the internet provider and get a $10 auto-pay discount. You shop insurance and save $40 a month. You switch your pharmacy to a generic and save $18. Without cutting anything, you just found $68 per month. You set a recurring transfer for $68 to emergency. After that, you get a $100 bank bonus and a fee refund for $35. Now you're at over $300 in the first month without eating beans and sadness. But there's a catch. You need a rule for what counts as an emergency. Car won't start? Emergency. Rent? Not an emergency, it's planned. Holiday gifts? Not an emergency, start a sinking fund with $5 a week. This matters because clarity protects the fund. If you blur the lines, the emergency becomes every slightly inconvenient Tuesday, and you're back to struggle. Put a one-day delay on transfers. Out of emergency. That pause saves you from impulse raids and gives you time to find a cheaper solution. Now leverage your employer. Many plans let you split direct deposit into multiple accounts automatically. Some offer a health savings account that gives you a tax edge on medical costs. If you pay $40 for a prescription, paying with pre-tax dollars reduces the true cost. That savings is real. Route the difference to emergency. If your tax refund is huge every year, adjust your withholding using your employer's form so you bring home a little more each paycheck rather than lending the government money for free. The extra $60 per check? That's your emergency autopilot. You just gave yourself a raise without changing jobs. Wait, what about groceries? You're not cutting essentials, but you can pay less for the same cart. Choose a store brand for staples and lock in a meal template. 2 breakfasts, 3 lunches, 5 dinners, you repeat. It's boring by design. Boring saves brain power and money. If that trims $20 a week without reducing calories or quality, that's $80 a month to emergency. You didn't eat less. You paid less for the same food. And remember the bakery owner from your town, the one who expanded and then panicked when the oven broke? She used this exact system. She called the power company and enrolled in budget billing to smooth seasonal spikes. She moved her business insurance due date to the week after her busiest weekend. She set a daily sweep. Any checking balance over a set threshold at closing went into her emergency fund. The first time the oven sputtered, it was still a headache. It wasn't a crisis. Cash flow beat chaos. You might worry, what if I slip? Then the system catches you. Because it's not about perfect days, it's about automatic rails. The deposits split without you. The due dates sit behind paydays. The sweep happens. You negotiate essentials once a year on a calendar reminder. If you miss a week, you don't lose everything. You resume the flow and keep the savings you already captured. Why does this matter right now? Because prices are high, rates are high, and the penalty for being unprepared is higher than ever. Understanding this determines whether you keep paying a chaos tax or you turn it into your safety net. The difference is not hustle, it's architecture. So here's the play. Start to finish. Protect essentials with their own account. Automate a small transfer to emergency on payday, even $5. Move every due date behind deposits. Turn off overdraft. Ask for the last fee back. Negotiate autopay and loyalty discounts for internet, phone, and insurance. Use pharmacy savings for the same medication. Capture windfalls and rewards the day they arrive. Build to 200, then 1,000, then 1 month of essentials. Add a 1-day delay on withdrawals. Define what counts as an emergency, and once a year, repeat the negotiations in one focused afternoon. These are levers you pull once that keep paying you. Here's the revelation. Emergency savings doesn't come from deprivation. It comes from design. You're not at the mercy of surprise bills. You're at the mercy of unaligned cash flow, and that can be fixed. Here's the relevance. This explains why your budget felt right on paper and wrong in real life. The dates were the problem, and here's the power. With a few calls and 2 automatic transfers, you stop paying the chaos tax and start paying yourself. So when Tuesday comes with a dead battery, you don't panic, you pay. And the best part? You did it without cutting a single essential dollar. You just took control of the clock, and the clock started paying you back.